Which, you know, is part of propagating. It's not because you put them in, you know, you give them the perfect conditions that they all of a sudden, that's nasty. Yeah, I do wonder if that's the reason. Remember I was struggling with this plant? Yeah, my Hoyas are probably, look at that. But this one seems to be growing very well. Oh my word. This one's looking better than the actual mother plant. Do you see that? I don't really see like any bleaching happening. It's very, very nice and silver. And there is actually some cacti that I want to put in here. Oh. And one of the most frequent questions was definitely ventilation. Oh my word, why didn't I not think of that earlier? It is time for another update. It has been a while since I've given you guys an update on my Spiderfarmer plant stand. And since I've done the whole initial setup and everything, I have had a couple of questions from you guys, which I figured I'll answer in today's video. I'll give you an update on the plants in here, things that I've changed up, if I've changed anything up from the last update. And yeah, I hope you enjoy. Hello everyone, welcome to my jungle story. I'm Jacqueline and thank you so much to Spiderfarmer for sponsoring today's video. Spiderfarmer sent me this amazing plant stand to test out and see how I can use it in my collection and obviously, you know, talk about it a little bit more and let you guys know what it is. I specifically have the extra large. I don't have all of the like extra components that you can get as well. You can get like humidifiers, you can get, I think they also have like the little thermometer things. They have ventilators, also all things that you can control through your phone. Really, really nice stuff. So go ahead and check out their website. I will link everything. I'll link this specific plant stand that I have, but I'll also link all of their like websites, the States, you know, Europe and all of that. I will link that all down below in the description if you want to check it out. And I will also link a little discount code for you guys if you want to go ahead and give it a try. But I have been in awe of this. This is my go-to when it comes to propagating and rehabbing. And I've also recently been doing something different, and that is bringing plants. I'll use this as an example, but I had a huge tote in front of me here with all new plants, and I had another tote that's like this one here, this size, because this fits perfectly in the shelves that I have. If you're in Belgium, or I don't know if the Action is in all of Europe, I don't think so, but it is the, what does it say? It is 39 by 37 by 27. I thought they would say liters on here, but I don't think it does. Liters would be better. It doesn't say. But anyway, it's 39 by 37 by 27 centimeters. And it fits perfectly. I have one at the top here, which I'll show you just now. But for plants that I want them to grow a little bit faster, and I want them, all plants that you're rehabbing, it just works perfectly putting them in the prop box and then putting it on here, because the lid, I mean, the lid is see-through, but it does still act a little bit as a filter. Sorry about that, someone's driving by and blasting their music. But yeah, it does act a little bit of a filter. Now, plants like Hoyas, they don't really need that filter, to be honest. Carnivorous plants as well. A lot of you guys have told me that you have bought this and you use it for your carnivorous plants and your succulents and your cacti, which I do want to do. I do have, problem is it's a little bit full at the moment. I do have some succulents and cacti that I could put there, but I don't have like a ton of succulent and cacti. But it's definitely very nice to know that, you know, you guys have told me that those are also plants that will love this plant stand. I mean, it does make sense, you know, it does make sense. I was also thinking about maybe putting like my pingdom in here, because I have been like, there have been a lot of rescue missions when it comes to the pings and carnivorous plants at work. And I love rescuing, I really do. It is my downfall, unfortunately. But the stand has been a lifesaver on that part. But yeah, I've been doing some rescuing, so I thought, you know, maybe I could put them in here. That's, you know, also a really good idea. Even sitting here right now, like I actually decided to put, this is like the first time I'm wearing a t-shirt in weeks, because it has been, you know, it's the colder seasons now. But I know that this, I mean, this is a really, really small room. I've said in all of the other videos featuring this plant stand that this is a small room and I don't need heating in here. Even before I had this plant stand, this is a south-facing window in front of me. It does get quite warm in here, but now me sitting here next to the plant stand, I'm sweating, okay? It's hot, but it's really nice. It's not those, you know, those grow lights that you touch and it burns your hand, like it hurts. It really hurts. This is really nice and warm. It doesn't feel like, how do I explain it? Like I've used grow lights in the past. I mean, they were just ones off Amazon, but the ones that make you feel like you're suffocating, like you feel like the moisture is being sucked out of your skin. You know what I mean? These are not like that. These are really, I mean, I love it. I cannot rave. I mean, this is just going to be a video of me raving about this. But yeah, anyway, I need to, before I go on a complete tangent, which is probably what this video is going to be, I want to give you an update on the plants. So I think in my last collection walkthrough, I gave you like a mini update, but obviously I want to do like a featured video on this because I do have a lot of plants in here. And something that you can probably see on this shelf here is I have a lot of these little, what do you call them? Like propagation dome things. And I've put alocasia in here because something that I have been struggling with this year, none of them have sprouted, but they haven't rotted yet, is my alocasias have been taking forever to sprout. I don't know what it is, but putting them in, oh yeah, I was watering her last night and I was like, oh, I definitely have to show this. I do have a lot of like, what are they called? Lacewing, whatever. Is that what they're called? Honestly, I don't think they do anything for the plant. I do, unfortunately, when I propagated these corms, they were already very far gone. So I have, I'm just going to put them on here. I have had some rotten casualties. Like right now, I can tell. There's some rotting going on here. Which, you know, is part of propagating. It's not because you put them in, you know, you give them the perfect conditions that they all of a sudden going to absolutely thrive. Oh dear. That is one big corm that is rotten. That's gross. Oh yeah, there's a lot of lacewing in here. I should actually take all of this out. I mean, like all of the stratum so that I don't lose it. The big chunky ones, they've made it, but the others haven't. But I also made the mistake of leaving the corms a little bit too long. You know, that's my fault. But I do, don't focus on me, I do have some really nice beefy corms there that have sprouted. And that's the first time this year I've had plants sprout for me. I don't know what it is. Let me know in the comments if you've also had that same issue with alocasia. I'd love to know if it's not just me, because they are my favorite genus. Oh, these are all sprouting. There they are. If you can see there, don't focus on me, come on. All at the top, there's little like white points. They're all popping, you know. What else do we have? But yeah, let me know in the comments. Are you having the same issue with alocasia? Because I never used to have a problem with it. Sometimes I wonder, is it because I'm using like the same stratum over and over again, and in the beginning I had such a great success rate because it was fresh stratum, and obviously that's fresh nutrients. Ooh, there's a lot of rotting going on, which is sad, you know. But it could also be a result of my alocasia just not being happy, because they might give you corms and they might seem like they're doing well, but sometimes corms can also be like a kind of like a death wish. This one, all of them have rotted except for the one here that's sprouting. I'm actually going to open that dome. And then in here, I don't think there's any casualties in here. Oh no, they're all sprouting. Wait, I just showed you this one. What am I doing? Oh. Yeah, that one. Oh dear, what is that? Yeah. I have a lot of casualties here. I'm just going to take them all out because that's nasty. Oh, then again, these are very old. Okay, I think I'm just going to take this tray out because I don't think there is one. I know that's a very old tray. That's a tray that I've definitely had for about a year. Yeah, I do wonder if that's the reason, you know. Let me know, like I said, you know, comment down below if you've had the same experience. Yeah, that whole tray is gone, but that's a very old tray. That's definitely been in here for a year. I'm going to put that to the side and the rest are fine. But yeah, that's what I've been doing to kind of get them started. And a lot of those corms were very, very old and very ones that I was not really taking. Oh dear. Okay, there's roots on there. Let's pop that back in there. That fell out. Yeah, a lot of my alocasia corms are not doing very well. But again, they also came from alocasias that were not very healthy. So there is that as well. I'm actually surprised that some of them have sprouted. However, there are some that I've recently repotted. Oh, I just noticed. I got some new root growth. That's very exciting. Yeah, my Hoyas are probably the ones that do the oh my word. Look at that. I did not put these in here that long ago. This is the, what is it called? Species Viola. That is insane. Wow. That is insane. That's not been in there for that long. Neither is this. Look at those roots. Wow. One thing I do have to keep on top of with this cabinet is cleaning out the water. Because obviously it's highlight that the algae does build up a lot quicker. Oh, my hand is dirty now. So yeah, there is that. That is unfortunate and kind of irritating. I mean, look at this. I can't even show you the roots in here because it's just all algae. But this one seems to be growing very well. Oh my word. Oh my word, there's an actual peduncle here and it's actually going to do something. Look at that. This is the pubera, yeah, I think. And these were literally just strands that fell off plants at work. And I just brought them home and put them in water. I put them in here and oh my word, that is going to bloom. That is so funny. I also have a lot of Hoya propagations here. I actually did this one 2 weeks ago. These are cuttings I took off my mom's plant. And I actually want to check if I can see any roots. No, I don't see any roots. But I want to see. Oh, I can't pull them out anymore. No, I can't. They are rooted, but I can't see the roots. So that is something. My legs are going to sleep. Anyway, I'm going to show you. I'm going to show you what. I'm going to bring you up and close. Okay, I'm going to show you at the top first, because this is a plant that I said I was going to give an update every single time I do updates on this cabinet. So this is the Alocasia reversa. And remember, I was struggling with this plant. These are 2 new leaves. So the old leaves that I had, they're already all gone. And now I've got these 2 new leaves. And check out those roots. Again, the algae. But it's so happy up here. Oh, I'm so happy with that. And then this one, this plant is the one that is going to be living in here. So this is the Attabop Wednesday. It's giving me a new leaf there that I might need to help out. But look at those roots. Again, the algae, it's kind of hard to see. But you can still see them in there. Yeah, I watered this last night, so it's kind of hard to tell. But it's doing very well. I think in this cabinet, it's now given me 3 new leaves. And we're gonna try and help this out. I know I shouldn't. Come on. Yeah, very gently, I did it. And yeah, some of you guys said be careful because the Attabop Wednesday doesn't really like highlights, but it seems to be quite happy. I don't know. I don't really see like any bleaching happening. It's very, very nice and silver. So I'm happy with that. I've got some little, this is a Lukey one, but I actually potted up, if you can see in here. So yeah, this is an example of one of those bins. I've got Alocasia in here because the one thing I do struggle with this cabinet is keeping up with watering. And plants like alocasia, if you let them dry out for too long, especially in a cabinet like this, yeah, that's it. They're going to be a goner. As you can see here, that's what it is now. So it's 27.7 degrees Celsius, 53% humidity, which is not like amazing. But it also says the max is, I don't know if you can see that, but the maximum that it goes up to is 86, which is mainly at night. And then the minimum is 51. Let's see if I can show you in here. I got some Lukey one in there that are doing really well. I have an Aurea. I also have here a Platinum that I rescued from my work. And yeah, they're doing very, very well. And yeah, honestly, this is such an easy way of keeping them. It's, like I said, the top here does filter the light a little bit because they are very strong grow lights. And they seem to be doing really, really well in there. Really well. This is new as well. These are little rescues. This is 2 little snow drifts. Over there, that is the longest that I've ever been able to keep a ficus. And I mean, look how pretty it is. It's rooting very, very nicely. It's insane. Yeah, it is very happy in this cabinet, so I'm not moving it. And once it gets bigger, I'm going to have an issue. But that was a stump when I rescued it. And look at it now. In here, I have another, like I said, I love rehabbing or rescuing plants in here. Yeah, in there is my Squamicale red philodendron. I've been struggling with that plant big time. Big time. So yeah, I've just been rehabbing it in here in a prop box. It's not died on me, but you know, it's yeah, I'm struggling with that plant. I am. So I'll give you an update on that one next time on how it's doing, because I also want to try and grow it in here. And then on the shelf here, I've still got the only living, oh my word, what is going on here? That is a Milano crassum that's just trying to figure its life out. I don't know. I don't know. I can't seem to bin that one, you know. Back there, a little gigas, which also does not look the best, but it's also trying to suss itself out. This is the only one that I have left of my acuminata, Monstera acuminata. I used to actually up here, probably in the last video, I had a huge jar full of cuttings. They ended up attaching themselves to the back of the cabinet, and it just overwhelmed me, and it looked so awful, and I just didn't feel like chopping it up. So I threw that away. I still have one here, but you know, I got a frozen freckles here. That was also just a stump from my work that I rescued. Here's the pubera that I told you about. In here, I've got some little pink princess props, which one of them looks like it's dead. I don't know. This as well, this was oh my word, that's right. This was actually just a stump. There was hardly any leaves. And, oh dear, yeah, that's fallen off. Yeah, this is a rescue mission type of thing. But there are new roots there, so that is promising. There I have 2 jars of the species Viola that I showed you. Look at that. That's insane. I've got a whole jar full of markins there, which I don't know if you can see amongst the algae. It's rooted like crazy. Yeah, is the Crassiopetulata. These, oh my word, this one looks better than the actual. I mean, look at how pretty that is. Yeah, also. Rooted like crazy. This one's looking better than the actual mother plant. Oh, look at that. It's so pretty. And then I'm going to go and sit on my knees. I don't have enough room here. Yeah, this is the shelf that I already showed you guys. So I've got like 4 trays here of all Hoya propagations. I can't, like I'm tugging at them. Yeah, they're all rooted already. And I did this one 2 weeks ago, and I did those 2 probably about 3 weeks ago. I chopped up my Flamingo Dream. And then over here are all of the corms, which, like I said, struggling with them, really struggling with them. And if they're not happy in here, I don't really know where else they would be happy, to be honest. And then down here, I've got all of my Hoya propagations. I've got Crimson Queen here, more trays, Species Viola, Flamingo Dream, a lot of the same because I did chop up the big mother plant. I have some Hoya Polyneria here. I actually saw a really pretty, where is it? Look at this. Look how pretty that is. Like, that's so pretty. This was just a regular Polyneria and it started doing that. The Sigillatus, I mean, look how lovely and red it is. Get Hoyas to Stun Stress in here. It's just amazing. This one did, unfortunately. I think there might be a goner. I don't know. Maybe I potted up that cutting a little bit too soon. But, I mean, look at that redness. Oh, it's so pretty. And those new leaves. It's so cute. Oh, yeah, this is another little Australis rescue. Rooting like crazy. And I have two Cranianas, the Super Silver left. Oh no, 3 actually. And then I have like a full Flamingo Dream that I potted up. So yeah, that's everything that I have going on in my cabinet. I also have a lot of plants around the cabinet, specifically here, that are also benefiting from just like the grow lights, but they're not like in the cabinet. I just have some, the anthuriums that I used to have in here, I've just taken them out and they're basically just at the front here. So they're still getting light from the grow lights, but not, you know, like immense amount of light. I want to show you guys this because I've not shown you this, but I got this at my work. So this is supposed to be just like a regular Billiate. Do you see that? And I've got a new leaf on the way. I'm very intrigued. I paid, this was $9.95. It's just marked as a regular Billy, but the leaves has got some splashiness to it. And honestly, I love a Billy. I do. I've got a absolutely huge one downstairs. But this one does, even on the back, it's got like splashy variegation. Even this teeny tiny little baby leaf. So I am intrigued to see what this leaf is going to look like. Because when I saw this at work, I was like, you're coming home with me. I'm intrigued. I am intrigued. So it's living out on a shelf. And the leaves have turned to the light. But the Billy doesn't need a ton of light. So I'm just going to see and leave it be. But the anthuriums definitely seem to be doing a lot better now that I have them further away from the grow light. So maybe anthuriums is not something that I would necessarily recommend in this cabinet, unless you maybe use like a shade cloth or something. Or if you just use the cabinet with like one level and you put like, you just have one light at the top and you put big anthurium in here. I do think they would like that. But again, I just think like this hat, I want to utilize the whole shelf, you know. And I know from testing it out that Hoyas love it, Alocasia corms, even though it doesn't look like it, but the ones that have sprouted, they're doing very, very well. Water propagations, philodendron as well, actually. Yeah, they all really seem to like this cabinet, so I'm just going to stick to that, you know. My anthurium, I usually keep them in lower light anyway, so they don't seem to mind that. I even have like a little, am I where there's a new leaf there? Yeah, anthuriums don't seem to mind. I've got a tray in front of me here as well with some alocasia, and this one has just given me this leaf. I mean, look how stunning that is. This was actually one that I was going to pot with. And then it gives me that leaf, which is just beautiful. I mean, typical. This one as well, this was definitely a rehab. Oh my word. I had to chop away all the foliage because I had really, really bad spider mites. And it's just giving me this leaf. It looks completely green. This is the Mycorrhiza Splash, but the splashiness still needs to come in a little bit. So it's kind of going to be hard to tell on camera. But even just being less than a meter away from the grow lights, not even in the cabinet, you know, it's still rooting like crazy, and it hardly had any roots. That was a rehab. That was a really bad one. I also, over behind the camera, I have a bunch of plants that used to be in like an outdoor, well, not outside, but they were outdoor like temperatures, and they also, all of the leaves have like turned to face this this cabinet. So yeah, grow lights are very, very strong. But yeah, those are the updates going on with the plants in here. So I wanted to move on. If you have any like specific questions, just comment them down below on any plants, or if you have like any more specific questions on specific plants, you know, just let me know in the comments and I'll get back to you. But I wanted to move on to the questions that I've got on this cabinet. And one of the most frequent questions was definitely ventilation, and how I actually just this morning answered someone that asked about ventilation. Now in the setup, I do show you there is right here, so where my hand is, and on the other side, move back. Can you see here, down here, and also at the top on that side and that side, there are these flaps, and you can close them or you can open them. You can roll them up, or you could just take the whole cover off, and there's like a little bit of like a mesh to still kind of, you know, so it's not completely open, there's still a mesh there. So that's really great for ventilation. If you have, for example, if you have a plant room and you have this cabinet in there, and you're usually like you will have a fan on or a window open, you know, because you need to have ventilation for your plants. If I were to put like a small fan in this room, and I would keep it on during the day, and I would open I mean, I keep my cabinet open now anyway, but once it's winter and it starts getting quite cold, I'm going to keep an eye on it, because like I said, these grow lights do emit a lot of warmth. I'm going to see how it does, but I do think I am going to close the tent. I will open all those flaps, and then I will just keep an eye on it, because I am thinking about getting one of their fans as well, and you can clip it on these like bars here. You can just like clip it in there. You can do one at the top, at the bottom. I think having one at the top and the bottom will be great, just, you know, for that circulation. But you can do that, or like I said, you could have just like a regular fan, like it doesn't have to be anything fancy, just like a cheap fan. I could just plug it in here and get it to turn. And honestly, if I had this closed and I have all of those flaps open, that's more than enough ventilation, like no problem whatsoever. In the spring and summer, I'm not really going to worry about that, because this is probably going to be open again. And I do have a big window here that I just open anyway. Plus, we also have an entrance to the attic, and we have like Felixes in the attic, and in the spring and summer, they usually are always open. So I will just open the door there, and that's also ventilation. So, you know, those are just some things that you could do. Another question that I got was on humidity, because these lights are so strong and they do get quite warm. That's one thing I did notice, is that when I kept this tent closed, I did notice that it got very, very hot in here, which does mean my camera is it's going to overheat now, I can see. But I forgot my train of thought. When I kept this closed, I noticed that the temperature was going up. And obviously when the temperature goes up, naturally humidity will decrease. So something that I did is I supplemented with this. Now this is just a cheap, I don't have it on right now. I haven't had it on in ages, but I've noticed that because it does, you know, cool down at night, I've not had to keep up on top of watering as much, and the humidity has just been a little bit better. Whereas before it used to like go down to the 30s, which is not good. But yeah, I just had this cheap little, I think this is like an aroma diffuser. Yeah, it's not actually really a humidifier, it's just a aroma diffuser, but it's the same thing. And this one could run, I think, for like 6 hours. So yeah, I would just switch this on. I come in here in the morning and at nighttime to switch the lights off manually. I also just love coming up here and checking on plants. I usually do my watering either in the morning or at nighttime. Morning is best, but I don't always have time for that. But yeah, I just switched this on. This is on for 6 hours, and when I was using this, I noticed humidity was always above the 60%. It was more above the 70% actually, but it never went below the 60. So that's something that I used to do with humidity. I don't really do that anymore. Like I said, right now, I've noticed that I don't really need to. The plants seem to like it just being above the 50%. But if you do want to increase humidity, that is something you can do. Add a little humidifier. Spider Farm also on their websites, they also have humidifiers. You can control everything through your phone as well, which is really cool. And you can do that. Something else that you can do is like the standard pebbles trays. I did when I had a little bit more room. I should have actually filmed that when I did that. I didn't do that for that long. It was mainly when I was having like a clear out and I was potting up a lot of cuttings, and you know, like I was selling them or trading them or, you know, gifting them or whatever. I had a period where it was quite empty in here, and I put just regular trays. I can show you here, because here is one that I did use. I just put these like square trays. I filled them up with clay pebbles, and I just made sure that there was always water in there. And then it does work, okay? But I had one on each shelf. You just have to make sure there's always water in them, and you have to have a lot of them. And that does also boost humidity. And then I noticed it never really went below the 70%, which is really, really nice. So I do think that is something that I actually might do in the future, because I feel like that worked a lot better than the little aroma diffuser that I had. That was just, the reservoir is also not very big, you know? So I was filling it up all the time. It's a really cheap one. It's from the Action. I sometimes was questioning whether it was working or not, but anyway. But yeah, the clay pebbles works. It's cheap, it's easy. I could put plants on there as well, like if I had more plants. I just did that because I had more room, but you can just put plants on top of there, you know. That also works. Or I could have just put my water propagations on top of there. But again, I had a lot of room at that time, so I didn't need to. But yeah, those are just some things that you can do to boost the humidity, the ventilation. Lighting is definitely not an issue in here. Honestly, if I want to propagate anything now, I put it in here. You do have to keep an eye on it though, because let me tell you that if you try and propagate and you put it in this plant stand, it will go like crazy. I mean, you saw these roots. And that's insane. That is absolutely insane. And I cut that up not even a month ago. Or was it? No, that probably would have been exactly a month ago that I cut those up and I just stuck them in water. That's mind-blowing. That's absolutely mind-blowing. But something I'm still figuring out obviously is the alocasia, but I think that's just me, that's the issue, because they're really, I mean, the ones that I've taken off, they really like it. Like that system that I'm doing with the prop box, it's definitely a good idea. I definitely would do that as well with, you know, in the future, even with other plants. I have this bin. I actually want to do some zhuzhing. I don't know if it's going to work because my cabinet is quite full at the moment, but I do, you can see my little dead corms up there, but I do have this prop box here that is full of the latifolia cuttings that I took from a care card that I did. And yeah, I've just stuck them all in there, and it's also just on the floor next to, oh my word, I don't know if it's really, you're going to be able to see because it will be backlit, but I can already see roots. And I've actually been keeping this prop box open because I've noticed that I've not had to water as much, so it stays humid in here a lot more than it did in the summer, which is nice. I got plants everywhere. You are standing, there's like, I can't even see the tripod, there's just leaves. I got a lot of plants in here. But yeah, honestly, when it comes to rehabbing, propagating, I highly recommend this plant stand. I'm so grateful that Spider Farm has sent me this and wanted, you know, to work with me. I just absolutely love it. Every single day, I come up here twice a day, and every single day I'm like, wow, it blows my mind. It is something that I would also, like, we want to we want to extend our house, and that means we'll have a lot of a bigger area downstairs. I would actually really like maybe like a smaller version of this downstairs, because if you compare this to like the IKEA greenhouse cabinets, the results are a lot, you know. And I also feel like if you put everything together, the cabinet, the grow lights, like everything that you have to get, the shelves as well, just like everything you have to get for that cabinet, it actually comes out a lot more expensive than if you were to get one of these. Like this is the extra large one. That's just amazing. So yeah, I have been looking at getting maybe like a smaller one for downstairs, because I mean, it is black. It's not really my aesthetic, but I love the look of it. And your plants just love it and they thrive in it. So it is something I'm thinking about. It is something I'm thinking about. I do like it. And there's so many different things you can do with this as well. Like you could even if you have like an area that doesn't necessarily need a lot of like high humidity, you could just leave this open all of the time, like I have done now in the summer. But like I said, I am thinking about closing it. But there's just endless possibilities with this. You can do so much with it. It doesn't, like this room is tiny. This is the extra large, and it doesn't take up a lot of room. It's very multifunctional. Is that the right word? Yeah. But it's just one of those things that, oh yeah, if I get another one, it'll definitely be this size one. But it really works. These as well, like I just water and it goes into here. Usually it evaporates quite quickly because it's obviously very warm here, but it's just nice. Like the Hoyas, everything is like level, and oh, I just love it. I love it. Also, something I didn't think of, but these actually will keep, if you fill this up with water, let's say if I had this tray here, I don't even need clay. I don't even need trays and clay pebbles actually. If I have a level where I just do jars or these where there's no like drainage, I could just fill this up with water. Oh my word, why didn't I not think of that earlier? That's what I'm going to do. Over here, these are all trays. There's nothing that water can come into. So I'm just going to fill this up with water. Sorry for the cut. I had to take a break because my camera overheated. But yeah, it's very, very warm in here. What did I say it was? 27 degrees. Jeez. I'm not used to that. You literally there's like a doorway here. There's no actual door, but you walk into the hallway and you can already feel a difference. It's absolutely amazing. But anyway, I completely lost what I was talking about. But I think I covered all the points that I wanted to cover. I just wanted to give you an update on how the plants are doing here, show you the two plants that I'm only growing in here, which is the Philodendron Atabapuense and the Alocasia reversa. Both are doing really, really well. One thing I have been thinking about that I do want to experiment with is trying pon in this cabinet, because pon is something that I've been struggling with the last year. I've not really gone off it because I do miss growing plants in pon because it is very, very easy. But I've just been struggling with it, and a part of me is thinking, well, maybe I should try and grow it in here, because I check on the plants like twice a day anyway, and I'm very, very good on checking them because I got, like I say, I love propagating. That's why this stand is so amazing for me. But I don't know, I'm thinking maybe I should try that as well, because this one is clearly a lot happier than what it was when I kept it in soil. Like his water roots are really good, and it had no roots whatsoever. And that's all new growth. I was worried that I was gonna not really like it was gonna be bleached a little bit, but the last time we made it a little bit higher, so it is okay. I forgot to show you guys this one as well, but I think this has some type of pest. I'm not 100% sure, but this is all I've got left of my Maranta silver bands, and it has rooted. I don't know if you can see that because of the algae, but it's rooted very nicely, but it's just, maybe I should just try and pot it up. I do actually have Calathea and Maranta mix. Maybe I should just pot this up and see how it does then. I don't think the leaves are very, very bleached, so I don't think it actually likes. Maybe I'll put it on the floor here. because Marantas usually don't like ha-ha light, but it did root underneath the grow lights. I'm going to put it there and see how it does. This is another thing that's like right in for these lights. This is all that I've got left. I mean, look at that. This is all I've got left of my, what is this? Diefenbachia Tiki. And it's also right in front of the grow lights, but I've struggled with spider mites on this plant. And I don't see, because I chopped all of the foliage off because I had enough. And I want to get this one into pond. Maybe I should do that. Maybe I should try this one because this one's very, very silvery. So I do think that this one will like higher light. And I have noticed that it's just getting more and more silver, which is really nice. Really nice. So yeah, maybe I'll put this one in pond and put it in here. I think it might be a little bit too tall though. It's going to be too tall. No, I think I will just utilize the lights. Like it's next to the cabinet here, but I'm just going to utilize that, you know. But yeah, all the plants in this room are making benefits of the grow lights, so I'm not complaining about that. That's for sure. I don't know what I'm going to do when this room is actually going to become a staircase in the future, and there's going to be stairs going up. So this is all going to be stairs here, so I'm not going to be able to put anything in here. I don't know what I'm going to do. I could put it upstairs, but I feel like I've created the perfect little cocoon for propagations. And all my plants that I've got to overwinter in here, like they are thriving. It's just amazing. I also actually went ahead and put, it's like right next to the camera, but I put my philodendron pink princess up here because it kept on giving me damaged leaves. So I thought maybe it needs higher light. Oh, my camera is going to die. Okay, had to change my battery, but I was actually thinking when I was going downstairs, because I was going downstairs and I looked up and there is actually some cacti that I want to put in here. So this one's actually just flowered. But I noticed, do I need to water you? I always feel them. Okay, that's not a good sign. They've been struggling ever since I've had to put them up here and they're not outside anymore. They are struggling. No, these were not outside. That's right. These were on the south-facing window. But obviously, you know, it's autumn now. We've not really had that much sun and the winter is not going to be that much better. So I put them up here. They're like right up the window because they were getting a little bit shaded by the Hoyas down there. So because of some of you guys have told me, you know, that you keep succulents and cacti in yours, I'm going to do that. I'm going to keep mine in here. So I think I'll put it on this level so I can really keep an eye on it. And I've got a tray here so I can still do what I wanted to do with this and fill it up with water. Because I think that's a really good idea. See, talking it through with you guys really, you know, helps me think. Oh, perfect. Oh, yeah. I think they're going to be so much happier here. Do I have any more? 1 second. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. I think I've got some casualties here, ya bugger. Yeah, honestly, these plants do not get watered. Oh, then again. I've got some dead lithops here, which is shocking. Oh dear. They still like feel okay, but the lithop does not feel the greatest. But anyway. I don't know. I don't know if the one in the middle is still alive. But anyway, this system, there's like no holes. So you have to fill this up with water. I'm actually going to do that straight away. And it's also terracotta. So, you know, it just sucks up water like crazy. So we're going to fill it up. Is it touching it? Yeah, it is. Okay, so that's in there. Oh no, I want to put it there as well. Okay. Move over like that. Oh, there we go. Okay, I can keep an eye on that, you know. And can you see what I'm doing? Yeah, you can. I'm going to fill up this tray as well with water. So do I have any other succulents? No, not there. I have an aloe vera, but that's fine. Okay, those are the only like cacti and well, the only cacti really that I have up here. But yeah, I'm going to see how that does because they were not getting enough light. Like I think we saw the sun yesterday. I don't remember. But thank you guys so much for commenting and letting me know about like I'm really tempted as well with like the rescue pings that I have downstairs, the pinguiculars. I always say pings. I'm tempted to put them up here as well. Okay, I'm first going to see how these do and then I will put the pings up here, I think. Just do one thing at a time. That's what I've liked about doing these videos and these updates is I do things step by step, like the Atupa Puense I did separately. Then I put the Alocasia reversa up here. Now in this video, I'm doing these. So, you know, I'm liking that I'm spreading it out and that I'm not just putting like so much on my plate because, you know, it's a lot to keep up. I have a lot of plants, you know, it's a lot to keep up with them. So anyway, this whole video is a tangent, but anyway, you guys always say, oh yeah, this one. Let's put this one up here. I've put it in the spot where the Maranta was. I think that's going to be better. Yeah, okay. Oh, I'm happy I did that. I'm excited about these now. Please don't die on me. I think that middle one might be a goner. But I really love these bulb ones. And they're 3 ones that are like these ones here, back here. These, it took me a while to find them, so you know, yeah, I really hope they do okay. But they've also flowered for me, which is also a good thing, but yeah, since I put them up here, they've just been struggling a little bit. And I found that they are quite fast growing. Anyway, that's going to be it for today's video. I hope you enjoyed. Like I said, I'm going to link everything in the description box below if you want to check it out and, you know, have a look-see on their website. I highly recommend. Thank you so much again to Spider Farmers for sponsoring today's video. If you watch this video all the way to the end, leave a spider emoji. That's what I've always done with them, and I feel like I'm gonna keep to theme. So yeah, leave a spider emoji in the comments. Let me know you watched all the way to the end, and if you did, thank you so much. Give it a like if you enjoyed it. Give it a hype if you want to. Subscribe along for more updates, more, you know, bringing you along the journey. That's what I do on my YouTube channel, is just bring you along the journey of all of my houseplants. But I love this. Love it. Like I said, if I could replace my greenhouse cabinets with these, oh my word. Plants. Then again, I think I would struggle with the growth that the plants would give me because it would just be insane. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed and I hope to see you in my next video. Bye.